I am Armenian. I was born there in Armenia. We Armenians have been through a lot. First, the Turks massacred us. Then Stalin ruled over us. But the worst atrocity, by far, has to be the Kardashians. I felt like an outsider, even from a young age, but I felt such passion for being Armenian. Like, we weren't allowed to speak English in the house. We had to speak Armenian. Growing up in Brooklyn was such a magical experience for me. The matriarch of the family lived a block away, my grandmother's sister. She had 4 sons. Then our parents and then other cousins were like another block away. All our gatherings were these like marvelous, huge gatherings, because for an Armenian family to come to this country, not knowing the language, to be so close to family was a tremendous support. I realized how lucky I was when I went to Armenia when I was 16. Right after the Soviet Union collapsed, that summer there was limited electricity. A city that had been through hell that winter, they would tell me these stories, like their toilets would freeze. Like, that's how cold their homes were. And they were having to burn books, and so many of the forests were cut down out of sheer desperation. That experience is what really made me realize how fortunate I am to have the life I have here. You know who I don't trust? People who say they are not hungry. Who is not hungry? Soon enough, they will eat your food. In this extended family that we just joined in 1978, like, I was the first girl, and the matriarch of the family, my grandmother's sister, was like, do not talk unless you're spoken to. We'll tell you everything you need to know with our eyes. So you just look at our eyes and you'll know what you need to do. And I, wanted to be a very good girl. That was very important for me to hear, you're a good girl. And so I took it very literally. But I noticed that the one place I was allowed to exist was on stage. And then I took a comedy class and really enjoyed it, developed a character that's based on me, but that's an immigrant version of me. She's gay, just like I am. She just happens to be like a recent immigrant to this country, unlike me. That's what we don't have in common. This character allows me to perform without feeling extremely vulnerable. There's this like layer of the accent in particular that just creates like a bit of a buffer between me and the audience. Most people had bullies in school. My bullies gave birth to me. It turns out my parents were reading my diary all along. It didn't get interesting until I was 16, because one morning my mother, she walked into the bathroom as I'm taking a shower and says to me, "Are you telling me you want to put your mouth on that?" And literally all I had written in my journal was that I wanted to kiss a girl. I mean, it was such a new idea to me. And I was like, please leave. Like, I was terrified. I got dressed and I left, and I didn't come home that night. From the age of 16 to 28, she literally, every time almost that she saw me, she was like, did you change your mind yet? In the middle of the night, the thought came to me, you should come out to your mother on video in Armenian, have that conversation. And so she agreed, and we did it, and we had a genuine conversation. Yes, gay am.
Ինչս էլ է աղոր տղամը քդիր ամուսնացիր թորնիկ կուզեն.
I wanted to give my mother an opportunity to express herself and also be proud of the fact that she has the beliefs that she has. I thought my mom, did an amazing job. She accepts me. She talks about gay people without any venom in her voice, with pride sometimes.
Մարդիկ կան, որ ատեսակ կծնին։ Մարդը մարդ է, աստեսակ է, անտեսակ է, մյուս տեսակ է։ Թուն մարդուն նայ, մարդը խելացի է, սիրտը փարի է, հասկացող է, այդ բաներին պետք է նայես։
I've started, but I feel like I waited a long time. Like I really felt so confined by what I thought was acceptable. I didn't realize until we had this conversation that for 20 years I was battling the shame of being Armenian and gay. I had shut down the little fireball who would fight for Armenia because I didn't think Armenia wanted me. But now I can speak. I may not be the spokesperson they wanted, but nonetheless, here I am. When the wind is knocked out of you, you can't make a sound. As much as you try, you are incapable of making a sound. When I was 16, I ran in wet grass and fell, and I wanted to scream, but I couldn't. We Armenians are stuck in that moment of shock, where we cannot breathe because the air has been knocked out of us. The wind can't be knocked out forever. Air has to come back into the lungs at some point. A person has to be able to scream at some point. Now is that moment. I know it is so because you are here. You've helped me get my breath back. You've witnessed the air escape me and now be replaced. Please, be Armenian with me today. Hold this information with me today. It is all I